Hello, it's Talk Thursday, and this is Debra Cox. This past week, we got a little bit of rain, which was good. It was much needed. We've got still some cool temperatures, and the highs this week, the first part of the week, 70, and towards the end will be 80. The week after Easter. What I want to share today is about the importance of family versus mental health. I will tell you, back in the 60s and 70s growing up, we always had family gatherings, and it included grandparents, great aunts and uncles, their kids, their grandkids, so forth and so on. And I will tell you, it was a grand time. We learned lots from the oldest generation. And today, in my family, me and my husband are the oldest generation because unfortunately, our parents and grandparents are gone. And, I'm so very blessed and thankful that several times during the year, that my family, my children, and their children, we all get together for a family feast or get together, whatever the case may be. And it really helps with a person's mental health. I want to share some information from an article from the site Children's First America. There was an article titled, "Why Quality Time with Family is Essential for Mental Health." And this was written by Emma Park. And I'm going to share some of what she wrote, but then I'm going to summarize it all up as to what I see. These several things provide emotional safety for families, and that's it reduces stress and anxiety when families get together. It boosts feelings of self-worth and belonging. It encourages emotional expression, and it provides a sense of stability and routine. A lot of times when you have family gatherings, you know who's going to do the cooking. You know who's going to be doing the talking. You know who's going to set things up and in motion. So it's vital that we have these gatherings to help, because our kids and grandkids need to know where they came from. It's important. I remember growing up in the 60s and 70s and knowing cousins, my daddy's cousins, children and grandchildren. And we actually have an upcoming family get-together. And so I'm excited to see some of those cousins. I try to go every year. So it's vital. It's very important. So another thing is about family time. It's about reducing the negative, but it's also enhancing happiness and life satisfaction. Some things to do are unplug to reconnect, except for looking at photos. A lot of us have photos on our cell phones, but a lot of the older generation have photo albums that, they bring and people can look at. Families can cook a meal together. They can create a new recipe or use one that's tried and true from a family cookbook, which both the Faircloth and the Cox on my side of the family, we've got one, and I'm hoping to update both of those within the year to include the younger generation, because I think it's important that they have access to the recipes from grandparents, great-grandparents, and that sort of thing. Some other things that you can do as a family is go for a walk. It's perfect to get outside and be around nature. Listen to the sounds and watch for the different sights that you might see. Some things you could do, working on puzzles or do game boards or looking at photos, as I said, it brings a sense of camaraderie together and everything. Last but not least, what Emma Park wrote about was it's important to schedule family time. That includes grandparents, children, grandkids, plus extended family. You know, it does a soul good to have the connections with those family members. I know on one side of our family we have get together in the month of December, and a lot of people say, "Well, that's such a busy time." It is, but you know, sometimes you got to make time to take time for family this day and time because we live in a hustle bustle world. What I want to end with is sort of my synopsis of the importance of family gatherings, getting together to help with mental health. You know, back in the 60s and 70s, there wasn't a lot of issues about talking about mental health, but then we had facilities where people were placed if they were having issues, and today that's not prevalent, and we as a nation have to do better as far as keeping check on family and friends as it relates to their mental health, because we live in trying times. And you know, like I've said before, you've got to have, in order to have good mental health, you've got to have good physical and spiritual health as well, all three combined to make you a whole person. And you know, don't hesitate to reach out to somebody. Somebody may be placed on your heart. Please reach out to them, whether it's a family member or a friend, because there's a rhyme and reason behind it. So take time, make time, schedule time to be with family. You know, it doesn't have to have a holiday behind it. It can be just because that's what most of us grew up on, was family gatherings and getting together and talking about different things that have happened in our life. And so just be in the moment with those family members. And you know, it's one thing that we all need to do more of. And I'm so thankful that my children and grandchildren love to get together and catch up. You know, the cousins are close of the grandkids and from our three children, and I'm so very thankful for that. You know, though we live in two different states, it's at least we're not further than, you know, 3.5, 4 hours away, and that's important this day and time. Sometimes it can be a struggle to get families together depending on the distance, but where there's a will and where there's a way, and God will provide. So do take time to reach out to your family, extended family, even those close friends that you consider family, because it's important to, you know, be in the moment, be present. And that's what I wanted to share about for this, you know, this week. It's just a reminder, it's National Stress Awareness Month, and do what you can to become less stressed, because life is short, you're important, and you really matter a lot. So take that time, and I'm going to leave you with a few sights and sounds. Like, you know, the birds, but you hear the wind in the background. There's a cool, gentle breeze blowing. And I'm just going to leave you with a little bit of time to watch and listen. Have a great week. This is Talk Thursday, and this is Debra Cox. Until next week, be blessed.